What's up, everyone? Timothy Almaim Jr. here, and this is my son Vash Jeremiah, and you're watching Milamasylum. Thanks for tuning in. Now, this review was more of a personal triumph, if you will, of a 90-day carnivore challenge. My son here, he's 17, and I'm 39. Yeah, I'm old. And we did the 90-day carnivore diet. Now, we're going to be honest here. We're going to give you some of the facts. If there's any other questions that you may or may not have or that we forget to address, you can do that in the comment section. But if not, totally cool. So a little bit of a background on my son and I. My son was overweight. He was about 250? 250. At my highest point, I was 230. Now, that was years ago, and then I started having knee problems, and so I went on a diet of just, your simple, normal diet where you're just eating lean meat, such as chicken, and lots and lots of vegetables and salads and all that kind of stuff. And then I got around 210. And I was also working out as well, but no matter what I tried, I kept jumping off of a diet. Like everything I did, I kept failing. Now my son, he's been kind of off and on his weight, but he's always been on the heavier side. And I try to keep him on a stable type of the diet, but he doesn't always spend time here. So he has availability to kind of dump his diet and get a regulated dietary intake. Now, he had a surgery a couple months ago. I'm not getting into details of that, but he was having a hard time coming out of his, was it anesthesia? Something like that? Yeah. He was having a hard time just coming out of it, and that kind of concerned me. And I was like, you're not dying before me? Anyways, so I'm like, all right, we're hitting a diet. We're going to do a diet hard. And so together, what was it, a vegetable diet? We were on a strict salad and water diet and lean meat only. And so we hit that really hard. And what was that? That was like a month before we started the carnivore? Or was it longer?
It was longer because I got the surgery like almost a year ago now, I think.
So it was like, so what we do, so maybe we did it for about almost 3 months. But the problem with the diet was it was very easy to come off of it. And I've been dieting for years, like on and off on diets, like just constantly. And my weight, I would lose some weight, but it never really fell off or got off. But anyways, so we hit this diet. He was 250. I was only about 210 at this time. And so we did the salad and chicken diet. And you went from 250 down to 210?
I think it was 220 or something.
So about 220, he got down to that. So that was a huge, huge success. And he lost a ton of weight. But he was still not healthy at all. He was healthier. And me, myself, I only lost the 10 pounds within that amount of time frame. And my weight kind of fluctuates around there in general on just your typical everyday diet. And then I stumbled upon, and I've heard Michaela and Jordan Peterson, both of them, mention carnivore diet. And then Joe Rogan, obviously. But I never put any interest or value into it or even listening to what it had to offer. I just only had heard about it. And then I sat down and I watched a Michaela Peterson interview with Joe Rogan. So I was like, all right, I'll check this out. Now, during the time I suffer from... I got a severe like tinnitus or something in my elbows, both of them. And so they wake me up constantly, every night. I mean, I'm constantly up 5 or 6 times. I don't sleep all the way through. Camille? Sorry. What are you sorry about? You don't take the lid off the meat. What are you doing? Anyways, so, like some kind of tonight. I never went to the doctor for it. It's a constant pain. My arms are tingly, and it's just all the time, constant just pain. And I try to find a way to sleep so they stop hurting, and so I can try to sleep through the night. But half the time I wake up, I have to sit up and like let my arm get the feeling back in it, so I can try to go back to sleep, and I'll try to sleep in some other. Anyways, lots of pain. But anyways, and so that her talking about fixing her arthritis, fixing joint pain, and all kinds of other things, and the blood work, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, okay. And I read some of the comments, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I don't believe any of it, not even half of it. It's just like fairy tale. It's like Jesus came back and started healing people. Like, that's the way that the comment section and Michaela made it sound. And then I listened to Jordan, and same type of thing. Your little eye thing that you have in you look into the sun and you can see the little wiggly thing in your eyeball. He's like, it cured that for me, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then I started watching other carnivores, and I sent my son some of these links too, so he could like better educate himself on what this diet does and how it works. Anyways, let me finish what I'm doing real quick. And then, so I watched some other carnivores, and they're overweight. That's pretty much why most people had started this diet. Nothing really about any kind of pain or joint pain. My journey was to try to fix this pain, and so I could sleep regularly through the night, and hopefully cause and stop the inflammation coming. Now, this is an honest review now. Now, none of that stuff worked for me. I still got the eye thing. I still got joint pain. My back, I still got sciatic nerve pain. But, do you have any pains that you had before that you, not now, that you are aware of? His acne, that was the one big thing he used to have really bad, and now it has cleared up quite a bit. You notice it even more? Notice more now or less?
Less.
Yeah. So significantly less oily, and he's just turned 17, so, as a teenager, zits and acne and stuff like that's kind of an issue, and it really places an insecurity within inside of us. And me growing up, I had more back knee, and I did have an acne issue, but I don't have any kind of those problems now. And my skin heals really well, and I don't hold scars like most, so you couldn't even tell that I had an acne problem. But how's your sleep patterns and your regulatory, anything else? Like, are you sleeping better the night, do you notice, or is it easier to wake up?
I sweat less when I sleep.
Sweat less that he sleeps, okay? Are you sleeping regularly, like longer through the night?
Yeah.
Are you more tired? Do you have more energy? Do you feel more hyper? So he feels the same. So as for him, the only thing that's really changed is that he's not sweating and not as greasy. And now he's down to, what's your weight now?
179.
So 179. So he went from 250 to about 220. And then he started the diet at 220, this carnivore diet, to 220 down to 179. 179? 179. Now, I started the diet at 210, and I am now down to 170. So that's a 40-pound difference. That's a lot. Now, I significantly lost more weight than he did because I am a lot stricter on the diet, and I know for a fact that he's been cheating on his diet, but he's still sticking strictly to it, although he might deter a little bit. Now, I don't expect a teenager to try to stick to something so strict. and especially a diet and with dealing with food, because there's so much good food out there. So it's hard not to fucking eat it. And so here he is with an example of what you can achieve and accomplish while trying to stick mainly on a carnivore-based diet. Now, you like divulge any of your splurges or like your uncontrollable urges of when you would crave something else? Like, did this stop all your cravings, or you still get cravings?
I get cravings, but it's easier to just be like ignoring it.
Ignoring it?
Yeah.
So he gets cravings because I'm assuming he still puts some sugars into his body. And so he's still getting cravings, but he's found it easier to just ignore those voices in your head that say, "Come eat me. I'm a piece of bread," or "I'm a pasta," like spaghetti. Now me, it has curbed all of my cravings. I don't crave sugar. I don't crave burgers. I don't crave anything. I just know that I need to eat, so I make myself meat. And that's it. I just know I have to eat. I don't crave more meat. I don't crave those things. And I love food. I'm a foodahsaur. And I was way overweight and unhealthy. And now I am super thin. And my complexion is a lot better. Meaning my skin pigment has darkened. And I've like definitely gotten more back to my original color. And I was more pasty because of all the shit I was putting into my body. And his complexion, he's a lot darker than he was before because he was looking like Casper like most of his whole life. And I wondered if he was even mine. Just joking. But so it's you know, his complexion is a lot better. He looks healthier. And I'm sure everything else is better regulated within his body. I'm mostly looking forward to like what the long-term effects of the diet are going to be, not like negative, but in a positive way. Like, what am I going to experience? Because I am staying on this diet because I have a lot more energy, although I am very fatigued because of my work schedule. I work 4 days a week on a 12-hour shift graveyard. So I start at 4:45 at night. I get off at 4:45 in the morning. And then I'm constantly I get a hour nap after work. And then I wake up, give kids rides to school. And then I don't get to go back to bed until after 9, which is roughly about 9:30. And then I have to wake up by, depending on what day it is, if the kids have early release or not, by around 2 o'clock. Because I pick my older kids up around 2:50. And then my youngest at 3:45. So that's my schedule. And then I don't go to bed again until probably midnight the next. And those are like on my days off. But if I have to work, then I pick the kids up. And then I have to be to work at 4:45. Yeah, it's insane. So I don't get a lot of sleep. So when I first started this diet journey, the first 2.5 months, I was still doing the energy drink thing. I wasn't trusting that the diet was going to work at all. And I didn't put a whole lot of stock into it. So I initially just kept doing the energy drink thing, but I stuck on the steak diet. What was about your first month? What was the hardest part? First few months? First 3 months? Like your cravings. Take your mouth out so they can hear you. Please. Or was it easier in the beginning?
I'd say it's easier.
So it was a lot easier for him in the very beginning, in the first 3 months, to stay steady on the diet. I think he probably just got bored of eating the same foods over and over again. And that's the problem with this diet, that a lot of people can't handle eating just steak and burgers. And so it's very, very just simple. It's a simple diet. You just eat meat. And you want to eat the fattiest meat you can find. And that's what I've been doing. I've been eating a lot of fat. to try to get the stored energy and the high protein and lots of water. I'm still doing the water thing. But anyway, so like I said, I did I for the first 2.5 months, I was still doing caffeine. And then I researched sugar because I was having a dry skin problem just on my hands and then a little bit on my face. But I suffer from this dry skin thing. And I've never been to the doctor for it. I don't go to doctors, period. But unless it's like, something major. But dry skin, my hands just dry and just peely and look fucking disgusting. And so I use a lot of lotions. And so I've been trying to like regulate that and figure out why my skins are. And then I saw another carnivore who said she was allergic to eggs and getting dry skin and more dandruff. And I was like, well, shoot, maybe that could be the issue, the problem. And so what I did was I cut eggs out. And I have not had eggs since. So I was 2.5 months in. And that didn't fix the problem. So it wasn't the eggs. So I can go back into eggs if I choose to, which I might, because I love eggs. You notice any other irregularities that you weren't aware of? Like dandruff, no dandruff, dry skin.
One thing about it is you don't need to go to the bathroom, really.
Ah, yes. So you're not in the bathroom as much. Mm-hmm. So yes, being on this diet, you're not going to the bathroom as often. Now you might hang it out in there the amount of time you would normally do it because you're on your phone or whatever else you're doing, or in the back of a shampoo bottle, but because that's your kind of like your routine when you go to the bathroom. But yeah, we're in the bathroom a lot less regularly. And I don't know if you want to just get into that, like how much more often, but it's a lot less. Trust me, you're not in there going, trying to get something out. It just comes right out, and you have no problems with any of that. But anyways, and then I did research on sugar and found, because I've never done that before. I've only heard sugar was bad for you, and you shouldn't be eating a lot of it. Well, when I looked into sugar, I even sent the information to him. I'm like, here's what sugar does to your body, bro. And I was shocked that it's a poison. It's a toxin. It's not healthy whatsoever. You shouldn't even be having a tiny little bit of it because it completely poisons your body. All of it. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, we're stopping this. Like, no more, like, and I would tell him after sending the video, like, no, we're not doing sugars, period. So then I continue with energy drinks, but sugar-free. Now, obviously, that isn't much better, but it doesn't have the sugar in it. So it was a lot less, but still not good for you. And so, obviously, at this time, I went almost 5 months sugar-free diet with energy drinks, like consecutively. But I was still staying regular to and I couldn't figure out why I still have this dry skin. And a friend of mine who's also doing the diet, quote unquote, they keep falling on and off, and haven't really given it a whole lot of trust, like, period, but yet eating mostly meat breaking it a lot more than he was doing, but keeping the meat heavier and then taking in the breads and the other things. But they suggest that maybe it's the citrus in fruits. Now, obviously, if you guys are watching my channel, I do alcohol reviews mostly. And most of the alcohol I review are citrusy. Because I'm a cider drinker mostly. And so since I'm being on this diet, I have not consumed a whole bottle of alcohol because I can't have it. I was like, I saw an Angry Orchard in the fridge. I went to grab it and I was like, ooh, I'm going to have myself a drink. And this was about a month and a half ago. And I'm like, ooh. So I crack it. I take a chug and I'm like, all right, it's not bad. I go get in the shower And I'm like starting to get this headache in the back of my neck, but it wasn't one of those headaches you can just get rid of with ibuprofen. It was just I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, so I just kind of stood there in the water and kind of shook it out. And I was like, all right, I'm fine. And then I came back out and I took another chug of the Angry Orchard, and that killed me. That just screwed everything up. And then I was doing reviews for this energy drink called G what the hell was it called? G something. Anyways, it's heavily citrus, but it's sugar free. And I drank 1.5 of those because I didn't really want to waste them. And the worst my hands have ever been. And now I'm peely and dry free for the last going on 3 days now. That's kudos. So no more citrusy stuff for me. So that's what we're going with that. Anyways, as far as this goes and whatever you're looking for, I can attest that this actually worked for me because I still have all my pains. But the thing is, I do have more energy. I'm more explosive. I'm stronger. I'm not winded as much. I'm more hyper-ish, if you will. But I still have the fatigue because of my schedule. So those are two different things. I also sleep regularly through the night now. I'm not getting as bad of inflammation, but I still get it from time to time. At least once a night I'm waking up and I have to reposition. It isn't 5 or 6 times a night and I have to sit up because my arm's on fire, about ready to fucking break off. I'm about ready to just hack it off so I stop feeling this pain so I can just go to sleep. What about you? You notice anything completely different now after 90 days?
Feel stronger.
Feel stronger. Now, given he has started a job now and he's not just chilling out playing video games, so he is working out some. He's walking a lot more, so that's also helped contribute to some of his weight loss, but mostly it's been the diet. Now, he says he feels stronger and he probably feels like he has more energy, but both of us are we're skeptical on things. We research and then we do our own assessment, and a lot of the times things don't work. Like, I'm not addicted to anything. So I'm not addicted to smoking, I'm not addicted to chewing, I'm not addicted to anything, alcohol, nothing. These are things I can just deal without. But the thing is, I like smoking. I like chewing. So I do those things on occasion, but it's not hard for me to just quit. Which makes it easier for people like us who makes us skeptical of things because we don't have the same mental similarities that most others would in those regards to trusting in something instantly. We're not bandwagon jumpers. We're not following the crowds. We're not sheep. We're wolves. We make our own paths. And some would argue that our paths are chosen, but I don't believe that shit for a minute. And quick interjection here. I forgot to mention I did the diet for the most part almost faithfully for 1 full month, and that was the last 30 days. With the exception of some taste testing for my videos, I haven't consumed anything else but red meat, and I also increased my meat intake. This last 30 days was when I started actually feeling more energetic than I ever have. And that was the first 2 weeks in. So all the energy drinks and the sugar-free and no sugar, those kept me bogged down. They incapacitated me and handicapped me from feeling the energy within my own body. They actually kept me down and sluggish. So after dumping the energy drinks, period, sugar-free or not, I did start feeling more energized, though still heavily fatigued because of my work schedule. My friend also got more strict on her diet for the last 30 days, and she's seeing an increased amount of energy, less oily face, better skin complexion, but she still has this craving. She wants to go, and she spoils it. She gets herself coffee. She tries not to, but she still does it. And she gets herself a mocha, which is high in sugar and chocolate, which is not good or healthy for you at all. And so, while not necessarily on the regular, she's still doing it. And so she's still facing herself with some headaches and some other things as well. So make sure when you're going to do this diet that you put 100% faith and stock into it and try it honestly. So I did it honestly for 30 days. And the only gain that I got was the more boost in the energy. That was it. As far as focus and brain focus, I feel more cloudy on this diet than I ever have before. But so yeah, just do it faithfully. Try to trust in it, and see for yourself if it actually works. If you have all the benefits that other people have self-righteously claimed. But anyways, that's your conclusion to this interjection. Now continue on to the video. Anyways, so we're gonna get ready to conclude this. This is my son, Vash Jeremiah Milam. He has a YouTube channel. I believe it's exactly the same as his full name. And I'm Timothy Allen Milam Jr. And I do highly recommend that you try this diet. For me, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. What do you give it? You're going to be like, meh. I mean, because it did work, especially for your greasy face and your weight loss.
No, it works for weight loss.
And it's helped you. I'm sure it's helped you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. So he gives 8. I give 8.5. Now I'm going to continue on this diet indefinitely for the rest of my life, just because I appreciate what it does to my body. Now it necessarily, like I said, hasn't cured everything, but it does work. My son's going to continue on this diet because he lives underneath my roof. And so as long as he's still under my lock and key, he's going to stay healthy. And then when he is an adult and actually moves out of my fucking house, then he can make his own choices. And if he wants to eat whatever he wants, be unhealthy, and take himself to an early grave, that's his choice. So, but for now, I'm going to keep him healthy. And I should have done this a long time ago, and I tried. But like most things, I fall in wagon. And then I felt like a shitty parent because I didn't stick to a plan like I should have stuck with them. But anyways, that's Jeremiah, Timothy Allen Milam Jr. Until next time, I don't think I need to say it. Peace.